What's that, Lewis?
Well, hello there. Didn't see you. I knew this was coming, and I still did it anyways.
What?
What were you
What a
doing for
meme.
like a minute and 20 seconds? Why was I in that waiting room for so long?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of We Got Issues. Yours truly, Tim here, and then Lewis there too as well. It was kind of funny, is because, oh, sorry, and if you guys are listening to us while we're on Spotify too as well, if you're listening to Spotify right now, what's kind of funny is that me and Lewis were actually talking. We're just going over the episode and all that stuff before we go live. And then I would remove him and then remove me from the picture so that we can so that you guys can see the title says that we're gonna go live pretty soon, all that stuff in there, right? But the way that he did it, it's almost as if it's like he's been like waiting in a waiting room for a while. He's like, whoa,
Why did you sneak attack me? Whoa,
what's going on in
this live?
It's so stupid. We got some comments already here. Say what's up, Enrico. But today we're gonna talk about what's happening in the world of comics and entertainment and whatnot. Holy shit, it's Tim from Miami, formerly from Canada. Hey, what's up, Brett? Brett, there's like an old friend of mine, in college. Funny enough, Lewis, Brett and I have this ongoing joke. I think it's like the longest ongoing joke ever.
For you.
Just a sidetrack on it. So Brett and I actually we worked together at AMC, right? Movie theaters.
At the AMC, okay.
Yeah, like back in '99 or something around there. And then we also went to college together, but different like classes and different majors and all that stuff. We have this ongoing joke where like so he's paraplegic, he's in the wheelchair and whatnot, but he has a really good humor about it too as well. So what we do is that we would be in the hallway. So imagine like we're in a college and we're in the hallway. If we see each other at all, we would openly mock each other just to see people's reaction. Is like the most hilarious thing ever. He would yell in the top of his lungs, and he would yell something like, "Yo, Tim, you Asian little bitch." He's like, weren't you supposed to help him with my math calculations or whatever, right? And then I would yell back, I'm like, yeah, I am. I have it here. Why don't you come on? Why don't you stand up?
Why don't you walk over?
Yeah, why don't you walk over? So, like, you would see people just like, just stare and just like, oh my god, did he just tell that guy in the wheelchair to walk over? What a mean fucker. I'm like, he called me Asian. Like, are we just like this we're just like disregarding the fact that he
I feel like he jabbed and you like wide swinged on that one though.
And so this is like the longest joke I've gotten with anybody. So shout out to Brett there, man. Brett's a cool cat, man. I like Brett. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about a couple of things. A lot of things that we're gonna talk about. But first things first, I was letting Lewis know. There are a couple of things that we're gonna talk about in terms of what's going on at the store. So the first thing that's we're going to talk about what's going on with the store, and I told Lewis this is my shameless plug, is basically we still have the Negan Lives and the Negan Lives giveaway, and we also have what we announced this week is the actual free comic book summer. Let's talk about the Negan Lives first. The Negan Lives, on the other hand, essentially we are selling Negan Lives right now, all of July or until it's depleted. But for the month of July, we are going to be giving away the gold foil as well as the silver foil for Negan Lives. I have it here actually. Hold on. I have it right here. So this is the gold foil variant cover for Negan Lives. Now, what most comic book stores are doing, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this before.
Sure, off the silver one.
yeah, what most comic book stores would do is that they would take this and they will sell it for an excruciating amount of price. It's like a ridiculous amount of price because most stores will get one of these, one per store. And then the silver foil, the store will get two of those. Now, if you, which we're going to talk about later on. Now, if you think about how many comic book stores there are currently right now, brick and mortar wise, I believe there's only like about 300 or 400 left, right? Now, let's take account that there's also online stores and whatnot. So let's just tack in another 100 in there. So essentially, you're looking at about 5 to 600 copies of the gold variant. So this is very rare, right? And Image actually gave this away to help out comic book stores. Now, the price for these, the comic book stores pay for them, but they also go towards a good cause. But most comic book stores, what they would do when this happens is that they would take this and they sell it for about $50, Lewis. I think $50 or $60 around
I
there, or
haven't
even
looked up
more.
in the market price.
Yeah,
Not a big Walking Dead fan.
yeah, or like even more. But we're not doing any of that. Okay. As cheesy as it sounds, we like to do things for you guys. So what we're actually going to be doing is that we're raffling these off, right? Obviously, we want to get rid of the copies that we have, so we're selling them with the delivery price already. So for each invoice, is an entry to win this gold foil and the silver foil too as well. Let's just say you ordered 3 copies of Negan Lives. Essentially, that's only one invoice. But if you order 3 copies, 3 separate invoice, that is 3 separate entries. We're doing it that way. Okay. So we're still doing this. So Negan Lives right now. Go to our website, comicstorepromotions.com, and you will see that that is still up there, and you can order yours today. And then on the free comic book day, right here, free comic book summer. If you go on our website and you click on this now, while this is loading for everyone that's on Spotify, just go on our website, comicstorepromotions.com, and then you will see what I'm actually talking about. So what they're doing is that for free comic book day, it's going to be called free comic book summer. So instead of free comic book day, they're giving away all the they're sending out the free comics to all the brick and mortars and all the online stores or whatnot. And what they're doing is basically they're releasing a few every week until September 9th, starting July 15th, starting next week. So not this week coming, but the following week. So July 15th is when free comic book summer happens. But in this store, what we're doing is going on this site, on our site, we're actually going to be doing something very different. We're not limiting you to any amount that you want. These are 100% free. Somebody did comment last on Weekly Wednesday when I announced this and said that maybe we should time it. So well, what Lewis and I did and the rest of the guys did when we had a brick and mortar is that we had different waves. So from an X amount of time to an X amount of time, we're releasing X amount of the books. So for example, wave 1 would be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and would re-release all those books, and those are 100% free. If you miss that time slot, you can come back to our store from 1 o'clock till 3 p.m. and you can still have another chance. We're probably gonna do the exact same thing this way. We're gonna start off at possibly at 11 8. We're gonna release an X amount of books. If you pretty much missed that out, don't worry. You can get another one on a separate time for a separate wave time. Now, the question that I got on Wednesday when I announced this is there going to be a delivery charge? That's the only thing that you have to pay for is delivery because we got to get to you somehow, right? So we're already giving away the books for free. Definitely just it helps us to actually just get it to you by paying for the delivery. So what's going to happen is this: if you go on our site and you scroll down, you click on Free Comic Book Summer. And then you scroll down, you'll see what we're going to be releasing. And you'll see on July 15th, we're going to be releasing Power Rangers, Road to Ranger Slayer #1, as well as Firepower #1, which was supposed to be the first release for Firepower, but pandemic happened, COVID. And then on July 2nd, we're going to be releasing The Amazing Spider-Man and Venom and The Boys #1. Now, the funny thing about The Amazing Spider-Man and Venom, that was supposed to be the first appearance of Virus. But because of the pandemic, Marvel went out and said that Venom number 25 is actually the first appearance of the virus. It'll be interesting to know if this is going to be the cameo. So either way, virus will be in there, so that's going to be highly in demand. So that one's going to be for July 22nd to July 29th. And then finally on August 5th, because essentially you can't look beyond 2 months with Diamond and the way that they function, the way that they work. So we only look at until August. So August 5th, Invincible and Resistance number 1 is coming out too as well. So that's what's going to be happening there. Oh my God, Lewis just left. So that, like, I can't see you. I don't have dual screen yet. If I had dual screen, I'll be able to see you. Like I didn't know where you were. It was like,
really, because I got a screen like over here and a screen over here.
I have one
like
screen.
the screen over here is like a whole separate computer. This one is like
I'll have like
a split screen.
I'll have 2 screens pretty soon, but like I only have 1 screen, so
Like
I have no idea.
I can guys show you, but like I have to literally move the entire desktop. Like
Yeah,
I have
so-
I have a computer, like a whole separate computer here, a split screen here, an iPad here, a Switch there, a DS for no reason, a copy of Resident Evil 2. What are you doing with your life?
So
Not prepared. Like I got
someone's
a
asking-
PlayStation 4 back there. I have that industrial printer.
I'll
What are
have
you doing with your life?
I'll have a dual screen pretty soon. Enrico's asking which Venom and Spider-Man. So the Venom and Spider-Man is basically the one for Free Comic Book Day. It's gonna be released on Free Comic Book Day. So if you go on our website, comicscorppromotions.com, you'll definitely see that. And you know what's funny? Lou was disconnected. His device disconnected.
He kicked me out.
What are you doing?
Maybe my brother-in-law is messing with the internet again. God. What a jerk.
Okay, so it's
so just giving you some backstory. My brother-in-law, when he sees that the internet's not working, he goes out of his way to unplug it, wait, and then replug it, but he doesn't tell anybody in the house. He doesn't give fair warning. He just does it.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
if you hear like a panic scream all over the house, he's the reason why.
Panic scream.
It's like, yeah, you're in the middle of a Fortnite match. Boom, done.
Okay, well,
You got second place. No chicken dinner.
Well, now that we explained that, go ahead and get your pre-orders on that for Negan Lives number 1. That's still going on right now. I will give you guys an update tomorrow about the Venom number 25. Now a lot of people know we still have number 25. Whoa, crap. We still have some Venom number 25.
Yeah, this is also a draping mic. It sometimes does this. Watch.
It just drapes down. It
just drapes down like an ass.
It just gives out on life. We still have Venom number 25, just to let everybody know. Number 25, we still have some copies. We're giving away free copies of Venom number 25, which is Virus's first appearance for free. All right. So for everybody, the rules are there too as well. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But if you make your pre-orders, you get 1 free copy of Venom number 25. Okay, we're doing free giveaways every month when we do pre-orders. So just keep that in mind. That is something that not all exclusive online stores does. So we're giving away a key issue for you guys. So keep a watch on that. Go on our website, comicscorppromotions.com, and you will definitely see all the details and all the restrictions and the rules and all that stuff in there too as well. All that nice stuff. Norland, what's up, guys? Norland's there. So Norland's there too as well. What's up, Norland? So let's get to some of the main topics that we have. One of the main topics that we have, we're adding something called the warm-up topic. Lewis, Hamilton is out. Alexander Hamilton on Disney Plus. You watching?
Am I gonna get bullied into it?
Well, I mean, should you?
Maybe.
I mean,
Is
like,
it?
who's really gonna bully you
It
from watching Hamilton?
well, technically, because I never read the comments ever. No one.
So,
So no one can ever criticize me, harass me,
uh-huh,
correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just
uh-huh.
in a bubble of ignorance.
So you're not gonna watch Hamilton at all? You're not interested or anything like that?
Do you recommend it?
Hamilton?
Yeah.
100%.
All right, I'll watch it.
Well, because like think about it this way, because of the whole COVID thing and whatnot, you know.
Also, this was done in a live theater with just the actors.
Yeah, so you can see right now. So essentially, they filmed it on 2016. Sorry.
Huh.
So at the height of Hamilton, this is literally at the height of Hamilton. So remember, Hamilton was released. Was on Broadway. Off Broadway in 2015, and then they moved to Broadway on 2016, and then they just went on tour around mid 2017, and
Wow.
that's when Lin-Manuel kind of left, right?
That's kind of
But
fast for getting off Broadway down to Broadway in only a year.
well, because it became really popular.
I can see
Because
that. It's only under a year.
yeah, within under a year they went from,
Hey,
because okay, so most people don't know, but
One
there
second.
is, huh? Okay, well, Lewis is gone again. Okay, so now most people don't know when you hear something called off Broadway and you hear something Broadway. Off Broadway means that the production is actually not in Broadway, where on Broadway everything is actually on Broadway. So when he said that this production went from off Broadway to Broadway within a year, you gotta have to be really popular. So you can see the magnitude of how popular Hamilton is. So if you guys haven't seen Hamilton, you can definitely go ahead and go to your Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, it's there now. Hamilton's great. It's amazing. It's everything that everyone has been talking about. You know, I love Broadway. What about you, Lewis? Are you gonna be watching it though? Lewis, your mic's not working, Lewis. so I guess, I guess it's so.
so what? I wasn't screaming in German words.
I said Broadway. I said
Broadway.
Hamilton. Are you gonna be watching Hamilton? Are you
Yes.
watching Hamilton?
Yes, I'm watching Hamilton.
God.
What
See,
do you
now
think
I'm
I
gonna
am, an uncultured swine?
I'm gonna start pulling you to actually watch Hamilton now.
You know, well, every time people were talking about Hamilton, I thought it was just the Paddington Bear movie the entire time. It's like, why would I want to see a live performance about a really nice bear?
This is after you just called me. Called yourself. You might
An
not be
uncultured swine.
swine.
Listen, I got my nephew to watch Princess Bride and he loved it. The youngest one doesn't get it.
Yeah, Rachel hasn't seen Princess Bride too.
Ah, man, she'll love it.
Yeah, I told her she's gonna love it though. Princess Bride. is amazing.
It's
Did you see-
corny. It's fun. There's good fighting.
By the way, did you see the Quibi episode for Princess Bride?
No,
Like
why?
all-
If I can just go to Disney Plus and watch the entire
No,
thing.
no. Okay, so this is
The
amazing
script
part.
reading?
No. Okay, no. So this was happening. A-list celebrities.
Yeah, the
actually-
script reading.
Yeah, no. They took scenes from Princess Bride and they reenacted it in their backyard and then edited them together. Like Jack Black's in it and whatnot. Yeah, Common. No, it was hilarious because like low
I bet it's
production.
okay, but
Yeah, it was low production. It's in their backyard. It's freaking hilarious. You should watch.
who got to replace Andre the Giant?
No, they only showed some certain scenes, but I'm assuming it's gonna be Big Show. It has to be Show.
He's the only one big enough that I know.
He's the only big enough.
But even then, like, I don't know.
Anybody want a peanut? Anybody want a peanut? Oh come on! You already like forgot.
You know, making fun of a big man is not very sportsmanlike.
He literally said that. Anybody want a peanut? Anyways,
God.
Enrico said that he's waiting for the Old Guard. The Old Guard comes out next week. Did you know that?
Once again, I don't really watch musicals.
No, Old Guard. So, for everybody else who doesn't know, and Lewis, okay,
But
this
mostly
might-
Lewis.
that this might kickstart your brain a little bit. Old Guard came out 3 months ago. No, 6 months ago.
I definitely didn't watch anything.
We had the book. We were pushing for the book.
You were pushing for the book. I was in a very tired state of I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm just gonna keep spewing out what you tell me.
No, we were in the store, and I told you Old Guard's gonna be a TV show because Netflix bought the rights for it.
We were speculating a lot of things were gonna be TV shows.
I wasn't speculating nothing. I know for a fact I was doing my reading. Reading. I wasn't speculating.
Most reading is speculation.
God damn it. Okay, so anyways, Old Guard's coming out too as well next week, so it's actually going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that too as well, Enrico. That's going to be really good. So Jesus.
What?
So
it's my ADD is kicking in, and I just I have nothing in my hands to keep me entertained right now, and it's like driving me insane.
So let's talk about. I'm gonna explain to you guys about what's our main topic. Not main topic. Our first topic. Our first topic of the day is basically Evo. So it was funny though because I sent this to Lewis a couple of weeks ago and then today, and he texted me. No, a couple of days ago I think it was. I texted to you. I said, "Hey, here's a good topic for the Saturday," and he goes, "Are we talking about esports now?" I'm like, "Well,
no. All I said was video game news, not esports."
Yeah, I mean, like, not really because we're talking about comic book news, but this was so big that not just in the comic book stem of things
to get to the Washington Post.
It got to Washington Post and everything else, right? So
I feel like Washington Post is more or less considering esports to be more of an official thing nowadays versus before it was like, no, it's just a children's sport.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Evo is basically the world's largest esports tournament, right? They produce all the fighting tournaments in there, the Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all those fighting games in there, right? So essentially what ended up happening is that the co-owner or CEO, I think his name is Tony, not Tony. I forgot his other name, but whatever his name was, he was accused of sexual conduct, right? And they decided to cancel Evo, just like that. They didn't fire the guy; they just canceled Evo.
No, they fired him. They
apparently he's been doing this
100% fired him.
Yeah, they said he's been doing this for years, right?
Yeah, apparently he's been doing it for years, and he's been doing some really weird stuff with allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
We should believe any person that has been a victim, but we really can't put the carrot before the mule and just accuse somebody. So there is a third party currently investigation for Joey Kuehler, former president of Evo.
Right.
And because a lot of people were separating from themselves and all that, they did take action, and not only did they fully cancel the Evo online event, they also completely separated themselves from him.
Was the guy a co-owner, or was he just an investor? Like, what
I think he was a large part investor. That's why they could probably easily remove him.
Right.
And they're currently taking actions to completely remove themselves from him. So they're probably trying to just buy all his current stock.
So I only know what I've read, right? But based on what you've read too as well, is it one of the staff members accused him, or one of the players or former players?
It's a bunch of players. Because he was, I looked up his allegations. Huh?
Former current.
Former current players? I think it's both.
Who's accusing him? Former or current players?
I think it's both. Because, kind of like how if one person brings up allegation, and if he has multiple people that he's done that to, then more and more will come out. Pretty much, like one leak in a dam will eventually, like the whole dam will just collapse.
Right.
And he was pretty much accused of what he did was he gave hundreds of video game tokens in exchange for small boys, essentially between 12 to 16-year-olds, to get into their underwear and jump in a pool. It's really weird stuff.
That's gross, man. Like, why?
That's really I'm smiling uncomfortably, but it's
smiling uncomfortably too as well. But you can't help the fact that we grew up in a generation where
like this was okay almost.
Yeah, like
it was an open secret. Like, yeah, Joey makes small kids get in their underwear for tokens and then makes them go inside the pool. So
I think
and now it's like, oh, what?
I think what's kind of a disgrace about this is that he's been doing it for years. You know what I mean?
Open secret. Like, that's what is called an open secret.
Yeah. So like, how many kids has he been doing this to? You know what I mean? That's
probably a few dozen.
Yeah. So
and I guess from what I've read, allegedly 99% of the time it's been just small boys.
He should get charged. Is he getting charged? Does it say is he getting charged? No.
There is no charge allegations, but he's completely fired. He's already replaced as president.
Yeah.
And they're completely separating themselves to the point where, like, even before this, Nintendo has announced that they are removing themselves completely from Evo.
And this hasn't been a good week for esports too as well, because Mixer shut down, right?
No, technically Mixer is fine. They're owned by Google, or was it Amazon? I'm saying one of the three. Microsoft. Who were they owned by?
They were originally owned by Microsoft.
Okay, so it doesn't even, like, right there, stopping point, like, they have a graveyard. Doesn't matter.
No, but this is what happened. So because of the sexual allegation too as well, they actually sold Mixer to Facebook.
But on the good news,
there's no good news.
There is good news, ironically so. Everybody that had an exclusive contract with Mixer made out like a bandit. They paid him off completely.
There's only two.
Ninja and I'm not gonna say his name because I've never followed him.
It's Ninja and Sprout. I think that's how you pronounce it.
But just think about this. They were pretty much given $10 million and like, go away now.
No, Ninja got 30 mil.
It doesn't matter. He got generational money.
It's messed up.
It's like, why would you pay him off completely? Like, how hard contract was that?
In my opinion, why not do this? Why not Sprout actually just keep 5 million for himself, and then Ninja keeps 10 million, and then distributed the rest to other partners? You know what I mean?
Because the same reason for everything else, that's less money for them.
That's fucking greed. That's what it is.
Is it?
You can't be texting. You can't be tweeting and texting and be like, "Oh, I care about our partners and everyone following me," blah blah blah. And they're like, "Oh, bye, peace out, bitches." It's like,
but that's your speculation. That's not really what's going on, though.
No, well, I mean, that's what actually happened. He tweeted it. You don't have social media. That's why you don't know. This is what he tweeted. Literally tweeted it.
Did you send him a DM or something saying like, since you got all this money, couldn't you have spread it to the rest of your team?
Why? I don't even follow him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what. Then I don't know what your understanding.
I have no horse.
You have a bunch of qualms with him, but like you won't try to have an open forum with them.
As a person, as a person, that's what I'm just saying.
Maybe he did do exactly what you said. You're trash talking. I'm not even defending him. I don't even like him. I think he's a very mediocre player that got like with a great persona for showing tell.
If you want to go deep with this thing, I'm only saying that because I'm jelly. Okay, I want 30 million.
Everybody wants.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting free $30 million? Then you've never met Ninja.
I'm like, I'm jelly. All right.
Think about it this way:
I
he got $30 million, and he can go to any platform he wants now.
because you know this is messed up, right? Because
He can literally disappear and not even work for the rest of his life.
Because like, look, my KD on Call of Duty is freaking like 1.5, right? On a good day, 2.5, right?
I've
I
heard you
don't get no
speak
fucking
about that
$30 million.
before, and you said like your kill to death ratio was 1 through around 20.
So so on the good day, I can go on the spree and get a bunch of quads. Quads mean, for everyone listening and everyone watching, quad means that you pretty much killed almost all of the teams, right? That's why I said almost. Almost as the teams. And on a good day, I can have a kill death ratio of probably 51 and 10, maybe. That's when I'm bored. I don't get $30 million. I'm just jealous. I'm just saying.
If it makes you feel any better, my kill to death ratio is 0 to like every team just gangbanging me. It's not even a number anymore. It's a phrase.
Well, with that note, with Lewis's gangbanging, we're gonna move on to the next topic that we have there.
Like their team took turns.
Which Norland actually just said, but we are going to be talking about that too as well. Aliens and Predator. Predator was or purchase or whatever by Marvel Studios. By Marvel.
Okay.
From
You're breaking up, Tim.
Of course. So I'm gonna put it up.
Please leave in the comments if he's breaking up or it's just me visually seeing breaking up or it's my internet. Please let me know. Is it my internet? Oh, it is him. Well, hello everybody. I guess this is just Lewis's show. We got issues, just with Lewis, no Tim. How's everybody doing? In the comments, I will be responding.
Lewis is literally gone.
Oh, it's me. Cool.
Lewis.
Hello.
Why aren't you answering me, Lewis?
I am answering you.
Where art thou, Lewis? Okay, so what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna talk about actually Marvel. Can you hear me, Lewis?
From what I saw on my screen, you were loading. On my side, it looked like you were disconnecting.
What is your brother-in-law doing with the internet there? Is he just unhooking everything?
I don't know. It flabbergasts me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about again. So we're gonna talk about how Marvel actually grabbed Alien Predator. Now, the funny thing about this is that this is the first
so
time
apparently you were breaking it up, not me.
So this is not the first time that Marvel has done this to Dark Horse. Conan was the first one. I don't know. Remember when they took Conan, Lewis? When we were start selling Conan in our store?
Yeah. It was very quick transition because it was just business as usual.
I mean, to be fair, Conan was part of Marvel before. To be fair, and then they didn't know what to do with it. Aliens and Predators.
I think it had less to like. They didn't know what to do with it. More like they kind of just didn't get anybody else to cover for it, so they just like.
Right.
There's a different company that wants it. They're really excited. They have some stories, and then they sold it off and made some money.
Yeah.
Well, lend it technically.
So here is the interesting part. Okay, here's the interesting part. Is right here. For everyone listening, this is what it says on the. We're showing the screen of it, and these licenses have been held by Dark Horse for 30 years, but with Fox now owned by Disney, it was only a matter of time until they get a hold of it again. So that means that essentially that Disney now owns Predator and Aliens. Now this is going to be interesting. This is actually going to be very, very interesting because they just took the rights for the comic book, or are they going to be making another Aliens and Predator? Do you think they make another Aliens versus Predator?
This is Marvel. Yes.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Why would they continue continuity or continue follow a storyline? That's not possible. It's Marvel. They go out of their way to stop continuity to reverse a character when someone new comes in. So they're going to probably do a clean slate.
But what benefit are they actually gonna get from
You
it?
can think of it the same way when they took Star Wars. They made a new timeline. So they could easily put aliens in like Spider-Man, both of them actually, Alien and Predator. You can make a really fun Kraven the Hunter with Predator. You can give aliens to the Oscorp as a experimentation on aliens. You can put Alien and Predator in a Venom book.
I think it's gonna be horrible. If they do a mashup, like a crossover, it's gonna be horrible.
DC and Alien vs. Predator did it before. I don't see why Marvel couldn't. And I feel like Marvel has a better round characters to work around the franchise than DC.
Here's what I can tell you. I think it will work with the zombie section of Marvel.
But that can work with anything. Because there's no definites. There's just you're taking a book that's pretty much littered with chaos. You can add more chaos to it.
You would put it on 616 in World 616. I wouldn't do that.
It would actually be very easy to implement if executed right.
That's I don't know, man.
Like all comic books are like convenient explanations about anything. Why anything else exists.
Here's what's gonna happen. If you put them in the main universe of 616, that means that you actually have to write them in at some point.
Yeah.
What? How is that gonna work?
They're an alien species.
Okay, hear me out. If you put them in the zombie universe, it would actually work out.
Anything works out if you throw anything in there.
Yeah, I know, but the zombie universe is just like another universe. Like fucking like just in the corner.
What you just said, it's almost kind of like irrelevant. It's just a really popular, fun story, and you can just keep adding more and more.
I know, but you can't make it canon. You can't make it canon. If you make it canon, it's just there's no going back to it.
Then your same reasoning would be towards Conan the Barbarian. Like they can introduce some aspects into it.
No, but Conan wasn't aside. He was part of 616, but just like in prehistoric past. He wasn't like
exactly. So they would have to make it work.
I know, but he wasn't on the current year. He was just on the main pass. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, but it can still work. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Why it's working now with Conan, that's why he's in the main 616 in the main year, is because of what happened on the past events that made him crossover.
So you're saying that you have no confidence that they can make it work?
Yes, 100%.
Think about it this way: Marvel, in and of itself, is ridiculous. They make rules and storyline, and then they break them almost as quickly as they make them.
So you're telling me that they can take Avatar and make it 616?
Yes.
That's gonna be so dumb. That's so dumb.
While I agree with you, it's stupid as hell.
Like
it could still work.
Like I can just see like.
Are we talking about Avatar: The Blue Smurfs?
Yeah.
Or Avatar: Last Airbender?
Yeah, Avatar: The Blue Smurfs. Yes.
Avatar: Blue Smurfs. Okay, it could still work because you still have multi-billion corporations in their stories, and those are the people that are sending out.
You know, by that theory and what you're saying, this can actually be possible too. Let's just say there's Battle World again that happened. It collided everybody in different time, different dimension, different world. Okay, are you telling me that there could be a battle between the Na'vis from Avatar in the ocean in 1912?
In the ocean?
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
It's gonna be the new Avatar. I'm gonna show you why in the ocean, because they're taking place in the ocean. Remember, one of the
I'm very
producers-
excited to get the other 4 movies that he
No,
promised us.
remember, just on a side note, the reason why I'm saying ocean is because the producer of Avatar used to shop at our store. I told you about this already. So, and that's another story. I'm gonna sidetrack on that later on. I know some people are just like, "What? When does this happen?" I'm gonna sidetrack.
Or just continue on with your story.
I'll just continue my story. So, a Navi could be fighting somebody in 1912 during Battle World against Namor, right? And literally, while they're battling off the coast of Nova Scotia, they just see fucking Jack and Rose floating in the middle of nowhere and be like, "What the fuck are these two bitches doing?" By your logic, if you're gonna merge,
By my logic, I wouldn't be surprised if Namor threw a Triton, stabbed Jack in the back, and then as he was sinking, he went to grab him, and that's how Jack died. It wasn't from hypothermia. It was by Namor's Triton.
Or Namor is actually the one who saved Jack, and then turned him into like an Atlantean. Gave him fucking superpowers and shit. Oh, Lewis, patent pending. We gotta write this down. We gotta give it to Marvel.
We will never be able to sell that. Just kill him off.
What are you talking about? Think about it. Okay.
Why couldn't we just use the Titanic as an Atlantean bar?
Okay. Just hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Okay, just picture this in the scene. Okay, don't interrupt me. Just picture this in the scene. Okay. Rose and Jack. Jack says, "Rose, you're gonna go on, live 100 years. You're gonna have lots of babies. You gotta let go." It's like, "I'll never let go, Jack." And then she let go. And you see that part where Jack was actually falling, right, in the ocean. Just then, fucking Namor just came out of nowhere, saves Jack, goes to Atlantis, fucking cures him with Atlantean technology or whatever, and literally trained this motherfucker, right? And he was the one who actually saved Steve Rogers from the ice. See? We just knew 52 the whole fucking thing.
That just makes me think that Jack is an asshole because he left Rose for the rest of her life. He was never serious about that relationship.
Now you have your romance, right? Now you got your romance.
We all know that Rose became old and haggard and left alone.
He could visit her like 1930s.
So you're saying that to revive him it took years. And then he thought like, nah, she's too old.
Or maybe he got with like Rose's great granddaughter or something.
Oh great, we have another Steve Rogers kissed his like niece.
Yeah, man. See that? Ugh. Dude, we gotta sell that shit to Marvel. You gotta shut that shit to Marvel.
Wait, we're messing with more time travel, or technically just
I feel like
timeline.
I feel like Oswald Paddington, that's his name, from in Parks and Rec, when he did a filibuster by talking about
how you can cross over Star Wars and Star Trek
to the Marvel universe and everything, yo.
Which is kind of sad because if Oswald really did have like a good idea, I would have loved to hear the entire conversation.
It would have been really nice.
Or it could have been one of those like just ramblings until like it made no fucking sense.
Just a bunch of rambling.
Which, ironically, that's what all filibusters are.
Pretty much, just a bunch of rambling.
It's not even coherent sometimes, even about the bill they're trying to stop from passing through legislation.
Victor said Jack turned to another appearance and then went to see Rose. Maybe he could.
I mean, like, that's an easy way out. So how come they didn't marry that person or had children? She was alone for the rest of her life. So
okay, we're gonna move on to this before people start stealing our ideas in here for a mega franchise. Pending,
like Vampire Bears.
By the way, everyone watching this, pending, everyone listening, this pending in all states, all 50 states. This is basically an agreement, so you can't steal our idea. So moving on.
And yes, Alaska and Hawaii count too.
Moving on to our next topic in there, we got issues with rumors. So the rumor mill this week. Tom King is essentially maybe working on a secret project which will involve the Watchmen. So I don't know if you've seen this, Lewis, but Tom King is teasing everybody about his secret project. He never said what it was, but what he did show is this little painting in here. The funny thing about this painting is that it's been shown in the Watchmen books, but on his latest book, this painting was also shown again as well in the background. Um, what do you how do you feel about this Tom King taking over as Watchmen? um I know you're probably gonna have a big opinion at this, Lewis, but mine's very quick and not too subtle.
No,
I don't
I feel like I'm pretty much right there with you. It's like there's not enough information for me to actually have an opinion.
Yeah, I don't like it because
You don't like what has been shown so far?
no, I don't like the fact that they're still going back to the Watchmen thing. Watchmen is a self-contained book and it should stay the way it was.
So
You know what I
you're
mean?
one of the purists.
Yeah. When it comes to Watchmen, I'm a purist. I'm not gonna rely. I'm a
You're a
purist.
purist.
Watchmen. Me and George are a purist when it comes to Watchmen.
I feel like
That's right.
Watchmen in the DC universe could have been a lot better if it didn't have a bunch of scheduling issues, release issues, and go on for 2 years when it was promised to be a 1 year.
You know, the reason why I think DC keeps renewing Watchmen and having all these stories is because of the ending of Watchmen. The ending of Watchmen is this: Rorschach actually he sent over his diary to a newsletter, right? And when they're going through the mail, there's a little small blurb in there just before the book ended. It says, now that you know my story, the interpretation is yours. And then it ended that way. That's basically just how Alan Moore kind of writes when he wants to end the whole thing and not have a sequel or anything like that. The same thing with like the Killing Joke, where what he had with the Killing Joke was he just pretty much just killed off the Joker without even saying that he killed off the Joker. Like all you hear is that crack, and that's about it. And then the puddle. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but didn't he also just write that book for a paycheck and he didn't really like it?
No, that's you mean Watchmen or Killing Joke?
Killing Joke.
Yeah. No. It's
No, he
Watchmen.
went on record and said like I just did that for a paycheck.
Watchmen. He wrote Watchmen because he didn't even like it, because DC told him like, we hired you so that you can write superhero shit. And it's like, I don't want to write superhero shit. It's like, fucking write superhero shit. And then he's like, fine. And then he wrote it was supposed to be a satire of it, but it became like one of the most celebrated graphic novel and stories of all time.
And he's still kind of mad that people loved his rambling nonsense more than his well thought out continuities.
He's like, I was just fucking around.
And then he's mad that the fact that he signed off on a terrible contract.
I think you may be right, because
he's just salty. He I have no problem with him.
No, because
he's brilliant in his own way, but he looks homeless. He looks like he has no idea what's going on around him, and he just never has any self-confidence on the stuff that he writes. That's why he's always in these awful like contractual deals like, oh, you're going to write something for us, you do not own it, you will not get any royalties from this.
Yeah.
And we will throw you away in any given distinction. He's like, yeah, did you sign that check?
Where's my money? You get my money?
So wait, you're saying that my work that I made for you is making you millions, almost $1 billion? Right. Where's my check? Like,
I think that
wasn't part of the deal.
I think that it's a bad idea for them to explore Watchmen again. They should just leave it alone. Because I mean, like when they did, hear me out.
Have you ever seen 22 Jump Street?
Yeah, but hear me out. When they did a prequel to Watchmen, which is before the Watchmen, I was okay with. But you know, even
you mean the prequel? It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, before the Watchmen was fine. It was fine, right? But when you start making a sequel to it, that's when it becomes annoying. You know what I mean? I mean, as good as the HBO show Watchmen was, it still annoyed me a little bit because again I'm a purist when it comes to some Alan Moore stuff. And
You wanted the Galactical Squid, didn't you?
yeah, no, they did have it on the thing on HBO. It was a direct follow up to the book. But
No, I
they
was
made it
talking about the
show.
movie since they just made it into like multiple
Oh
like
no, the movie.
explosions.
No, the Zack Snyder movie. I loved it. It was fine. It
It
was fine
was
with.
visually really nice.
What I'm telling you is that I don't like the fact that they're making sequels to the book. They should have just left it the way it is. And on a side note, Zack Snyder's version of Watchmen was so good. I bet you 100%. Like, sorry, not 100%, $100. I bet you $100.
No. You can't take 100%. You got to do something at 100% now.
Shut up. I bet
You
you
100% will do a backflip.
I bet you $100 that if you read Watchmen again in graphic novels or whatever, when Dr. Manhattan speaks, you're hearing that man's voice from the movie.
Yeah, but that's what I get for every soothing deep voice.
But he is Dr. Manhattan. I'm just saying that voice is.
So when you think of the voice of God, who do you think?
The voice of God, Morgan Freeman.
Because he has a smooth, deep voice.
No, because he is God. You do no.
God.
He is God.
His voice is so. He needs to read more books.
It's the same thing with Batman. When you think of Batman, who is your Batman? If you say, I swear to God, if you say Val Kilmer, I'm gonna.
To be honest, a lot of them sound the same to me.
It's always Michael Keaton. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
The physical look of Batman is Michael Keaton. The physical voice of Batman. The voice of Batman is Kevin Conroy. Okay. Everybody knows that.
Kevin Conroy. God damn it.
Are you serious?
I don't know white people.
What the dude? Do not do this live that you're looking up who Kevin Conroy is. You're embarrassing me. What are you doing?
Oh, Kevin Conroy. Didn't he also does Optimus Prime?
What the hell? Okay, no, stop, man, stop. What are you doing? You're embarrassing
Kevin Conroy.
me, dude.
I'm not embarrassing you. I'm embarrassing myself.
Optimus Prime? What the hell? What? Okay, let's just
wait. He didn't do the Riddler for the second reenactment. Man,
okay. Oh my God.
I'm wrong.
Okay, so give me your opinion. What do you think about Tom King?
Have an opinion?
Yes. Give me your opinion about Tom King doing Watchmen. What do you think? I'm a purist, so you can't really
for one, you will never like whatever Tom King will write about Watchmen. You will never like about even if the world's greatest writer and most in-depth with comic books ever write it, you're never gonna like it. Because,
like I said, I'm a purist.
Because like I said for like
I'm
the
asking
reenactments for Batman, he's not writing for you.
No, but I'm asking you.
I think
I know that.
I think he's gonna do a decent job because he's a good writer. But he's always gonna be compared to the original script because it's not an original IP.
So you're saying I should give him a chance?
No, not at all.
That's right.
You should have your own opinion and stick to it.
That's what I figure. I'm not giving him a chance. Fuck that.
But you're gonna buy it.
He's a great guy.
But you're gonna buy it.
Huh?
But you're going to buy it. Look at me into my eyes and tell me no.
No, I mean, I would read it, but I wouldn't want to buy it.
You're gonna buy it.
Because once I purchase it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping their cause. You see what I'm saying?
No, once you purchase it, you're going to go on a rampage aggro commenting on Twitter.
It's
how can you change such a dynamic as the squid?
Why
you gotta copy Zack Snyder's bombs?
The great thing about Doomsday Clock is that we had a brick and mortar, so
we actually had the book in written form, no pictures.
Yeah, I purchased it, but I was reselling it to people. So,
but I feel like at some point you did read it.
I did read it, and it was good, but I still didn't like it. So, um, so let's move on to the main topic that we have. Essentially, abandoned pull box. We're calling it abandoned pull box. Will there be a comic book store in the future? So there is another article that came out too as well. I believe a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago. Excuse me. It was from Bleeding Cool News. So essentially, with all the pandemics that's happening, the quarantine, the pandemic, the quarantine, and everything else, DC moving to a different distribution company and all that stuff in there. Uh, it's not a secret that it affected a lot of comic book store. Obviously, ours, Verse Corp Comics, was one of the lucky ones, but there are other comic book stores that are basically just suffering from this. You guys may have felt it a little bit now too as well with Comics Corp promotions, because we're shipping all your books at the end of the month now. But what ended up happening is that since the pandemic and since the shift from DC to DC to from Diamond, away from Diamond to other distribution company, we had to reorder some books, and some books are getting delayed, right? So the question that we haven't posted here, you can check this out on Bleeding Cool News too as well. It was a nice article there by Rich Johnston. Essentially, the question that we want to pose to you guys is that, do you think with all this pandemic stuff and all this crisis happening, do you think there's going to be a comic book store in the future? Like, it's still going to be around? Like, brick and mortar wise, like brick and mortar, not online and stuff, but brick and mortar, like physical comic book store. Do you think that's going to be around in the next year and a half? Let's be a little bit more conservative about it. 2 years. Do you think they're still going to be around?
Yes.
How so?
Because many people, like yourself, are dreamers. And dreamers want to follow a dream. Okay, enough of that stupid bullshit talking that I don't understand how people can go up and get paid for that garbage. Right. If people really want there to be a comic book store like as their job, and that's what they wanted to, and they have like some exposable income around 10 or 20 grand, they can make their own comic book store, and if they work hard for it, they will still exist. It's just, will they be in smaller towns? That would probably be way more the conversation. But also, the whole problem with like people not picking up their pull lists, I talked about this to George, and he did make a good point, is that pull lists are a thing of a habit where like you would go there every single week and pick up every single time. When you get the rhythm off, then less and less people would actually want to go. So the way I see it is, rather than being a physical pickup every week, it's probably going to be like kind of what you're doing with the online. It's like they're going to order something, and then at the end of the month, they should expect something, and this will be their new rhythm. So going forward.
So here is what I'm going to tell you guys that's watching and listening to as well. Okay, this is something that I've foreseen somewhat in about a year ago. Like, I saw where it's kind of trending a little bit. This even before the pandemic, I saw this word kind of trending. I don't know, Lewis, if you remember that I told you that it may be going online pretty soon, just because of the way things are. But
some things are going more towards online versus staying purely inside the store.
Because you guys, for the most part, that you guys listening and you guys are watching, you guys know that I'm always about 3 to 5 months ahead of planning, right? And I started thinking about this, and I saw that comic book industry will actually be online now, right? Comic Corp promotion is basically doing something that's not being done by any exclusive online comic book store. Basically, we're doing pre-orders 2 months ahead of time. That's basically what we've been doing when we had our brick and mortar. That set us up for what we're doing now. We also sell CGCs too as well. We do Timmy at the Con, and you guys know Timmy at the Con. For some people who don't know Timmy at the Con, I go to conventions and I do the work for you guys. I was doing that for about a year and a half now too as well. A lot of things that we did when we had a brick and mortar was to set up how it's going to function when we become an online exclusive store. And right now, it's basically like what Lewis said. This is where it's kind of trending now, right? Now that we have everything set up, we now know how to press books and clean books, right? So when we get the books, we just don't send it to you guys, believe it or not. We actually press it and clean it first if there's something wrong with it. When conventions starts up again, we are going to be doing Timmy at the Con. So you don't even have to go to the convention yourself. Myself and my team would actually go out there and get the signatures for you. Lewis will get the signatures for you too as well, right?
Patent
So you
pending.
don't have to go to convention. You don't have to pay for convention fees, parking lot, flight, hotel, all that stuff. We take care of that for you, right? We've already gotten that down. For number ones and key issues, you guys don't have to worry about that too as well. You guys don't have to go to a physical comic book store, even though it's really nice, going to a physical comic book store, brick and mortar. You guys don't have to go there and fight over a really good copy. You will get it at the end of the month too as well, right? So all this, we're all set up for about a year and a half, and we were doing this so that it gets us to this point where we are right now. So for everyone who's listening, for you guys watching, you guys know for a fact what we're doing. If you have no idea what we're doing yet, go to our website, comicscorppromotions.com, and you'll see that it looks a lot different than an exclusive online store. We represent artists, we do exclusive variant covers, and we're going to be representing writers pretty soon too as well. So that's where I thought where everything was going to trend, right? And the pandemic tends to just back me up on this, Lewis, but the pandemic just kind of just fast track that.
The fast track from a retailer to a online centralized.
From physical to online stuff, right? It just fast tracked everything, right?
Also, I had a really fun little trademark announcement. Comics Corp promotion. We keep busy, so you can stay lazy.
Yo, that's sick. We keep busy so we can stay lazy. What? Yo, text me that, man. Maybe we can do that.
Are we gonna maybe do that? That'd be fun, because that'd be both complimenting ourselves but insulting them.
That's so stupid. You like people reading that.
Wait a minute.
They can keep busy. Oh
wait.
man, they keep busy, man. That's pretty nice.
What the fuck you mean I'm lazy?
Like, what the fuck? All right, sure,
whatever. I'm paying you. I don't care.
I get it.
and then 15 minutes later, they come back. No, I can't leave this on. I got a comment. What do you mean I'm fucking lazy? I'll go myself. Then when they go themselves, hey, do you still have any packages available? That line was just ridiculous.
Yeah, but we were ready for those kind of things. As Lewis says I like to pat myself in the back on it all the time, but I said that
well, that's a very PG version of what I say, but okay.
We try to be ahead of everyone and forward thinking, right? So although some of our plans and some of the things that we do is something unconventional and something very weird for some people and they've never seen before, but when the time comes, you see it and you go, oh my god, man, they're actually way ahead of it. So I mean, in my opinion, within 2 years, will there still be comic book stores? I think there will be, but not to the point that
in the traditional sense
now. Yeah, because right now I don't think that there's that much comic book stores anyways anymore. I think there's only 400 left from
there's
500.
Probably going to be a less physical inventory that you can go to and more of a digital version where you will order something and then they'll get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more compact shops with more very specific stuff, maybe trade paperbacks as a starting point. And then if you want single issues, or maybe they'll just get rid of the single issues completely and kind of go maybe once again, this is another conversation I had with George. Maybe they'll do a Shonen Jump thing, where they'll give you broad strokes of different storylines in one thick book.
Right.
And that's how they're feeding you.
Yeah, because when we remember Lewis, when we started doing online stuff and delivering it to people, we told people like we can deliver it to you. You can pick it up.
That's the one thing that never went off. Like it never left the ground table. Like the amount of orders we got were maybe, I think I can count it in one hand for like the entire year we were pushing for it.
Yeah, when we were first pushing for online store and
Like the shipping specifically,
just shipping specifically and all that stuff, we were struggling a little bit on
the local side, not really the out of
so
state.
that we were struggling a little bit to let people know that we will deliver it to you and it'll be in great condition, right? It's not going to be in bad condition, it'll be in great condition. We were struggling a little bit there too as well, and I'll tell you guys too, we had another plan with it too as well, and I think Lewis knows where I'm heading with this, but it started to pick up a little bit once people knew what kind of books that we do and what kind of the delivery, the free bag and boards, and how we handle it with White Con gloves too as well. We never led up to that, and we stuck to our guns, and it started to pick up a little bit up to this point right now where we're preparing like almost 150 plus invoices that's going to be sent out. Yeah, there's a lot of invoices. It's not just local.
What do you mean a lot of invoices? I was mostly in charge of all those invoices.
Like now it's not even like just locals anymore. We were getting things from New York, we were getting things in Oregon, Alabama, Texas a lot,
pretty big.
California, Seattle. It's like it's everywhere now, right? So we had to grind it out. But then when the pandemic happened, this is where we got lucky, is because when the pandemic happened, people already knew we were doing this, and people and then all of a sudden people just knew we were ahead of this and we were doing it for a while, and that's when everything kind of blew up. And all of a sudden Lewis started cursing me a lot almost every day because
he wouldn't give me the printouts. He's a freaking monster.
No,
he went from giving me printouts to make me stare at a blurry TV.
because we went from like,
can you imagine you doing from this, like, okay, I'm reading, to like,
yeah, like, do you remember?
Did I make the cut? LMFAO. What book is that? Did that come out this week?
No. So remember, Lewis, when we first got our sets of orders, when we did the online stuff, there weren't even a lot. It was just like, oh, we're done. That's it. To like,
I don't remember that. I think you were taking care of that, and then when it got out of hand, then you made me in charge of it.
It was like becoming this thick. We're just like, oh my god.
And that's the time where you made me in charge of it.
So,
and I kind of gave you a deadpan look, and I was like,
okay. I'll tell you guys too as well what we were ahead of. So this is one of the other plans that we had. We promoted it for about 3 months because the first 2 months it just never picked up, and we're just like, man, we didn't even have questions, no inquiry.
There was a couple outliers for a couple books where they like some people were in like 20.
So part of the original plans that we had for shipping was actually delivering it to you guys personally, right?
With a driver.
We were supposed to have a driver, right? Which
would have cut your wait until the end of the week or month and be like, on the day we get it, we're going to prep it, give it to the driver, and he was going to drive everywhere.
Yeah, he's going to drive
Never choke off. If we did that right now.
Yep. He was going to drive to your home and actually drop it off, right? And if we can't drop it off, we actually had door hangers that would say that we missed you guys, we're coming back tomorrow, or you can pick it up at the store, right? We had that. Now, when we were cleaning up the store, when we were about to leave about a month or two ago, we saw these the door hangers that we had, and Lewis is like, man, if we would have stayed right now during the pandemic, we would have made a fucking killing. Because
there wouldn't be any extra inventory. Our doors would be constantly closed, and we'd just be doing it with the online. We'd essentially a retail warehouse.
Yeah, we would just have delivery. We're just delivering it throughout Miami. And
it's then, like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Let's just leave. Yeah. There's no way anybody can come.
And I don't know if Lewis remembers this. I don't know if you remember this, Lewis. This is like during the first year when we first opened.
Man, I don't even
Um,
remember what happened yesterday. What are you talking about? Like 2 years
you
ago?
were just a customer in the first year, but we had
To
a
be
plan.
honest, I don't even remember what made you decide. Like, hey, would you like to volunteer? All I remember is like when you told me this, I was like, yeah.
Okay, so one of our one of the original plan that we had was every Wednesday we will also have a driver, but if you cannot make it because you don't have a car, we would pick you up and then drop you off and then take you back home. That was one of the original ideas that we had.
God,
And
that would cost
it just
way too much. That'd essentially be us being like a weird one-way trip Uber. We would essentially be trying to take the bus fare from people.
well, the downfall of that plan was, we're not gonna have a lot of parents and be like, here's my kids, bring them back in like 20 minutes. It's like,
Not unless we had a school bus.
so, we were. Well, the
And
point
it
is
got
like,
weird, I know.
the point is that we were a little bit more of like, we were a little bit forward thinking. That's why we got lucky when the pandemic hits, because we have all this experience of doing online stuff and online delivering, where during the pandemic comic book stores were still kind of panicking on how to do delivery and how they're going to do this and gonna do that and do this, where we were just like, ship them. We were just like, ship them, that's it, man. So the thing is that in order for a comic book store to survive this pandemic, which I don't think will let up at any given time right now, because
Not this year, anyway.
no, for a while. That's the thing, because I don't know, about you though, but other countries have been flattening the curve already, but the states is basically very adamant that they want to go outside and
If we should follow one place in particular, it should be Italy, where your prime minister is just going out everywhere with the foghorns, like, go back inside, you morons!
So let me put it this way. Okay, let me put it this way. The U.S. and Canada has always been interlocked to each other. Okay,
Competitors.
yeah, they're
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
even even during the pandemic, they started almost the same time, right? But now Canada's actually flattened the curve, and they had like 800 cases, right? 800 cases, so far, right now. Like I think 800 cases in a day, and then you see Florida, they're like, hold my beer. Like, hold my beer. Florida's like, hold my beer. 800 cases, hold my beer.
You're just mad
So-
because Florida is a world record holder.
It is. So it's like,
And let's praise be all the Karens out there who are so misinformed and always on Facebook, and then go into legislation to tell your opinion as facts. Praise you. You give such good content.
so if a comic book store needs to survive this coming year or two, I think that they need to be a little bit more forward thinking, because like, I'm dying if I'm lying right now. I'm dying if I'm lying.
We're gonna watch a live death right now.
Comic book stores are going back to their old ways because they think everything is lining up. Does your comic book store, everyone's listening and watching, does your comic book store still deliver? That, you know what I mean? Are they still delivering? Are they still doing pre-orders?
Are you trying to say, like, are they now trying to deliver, or
No,
they're giving now the
I'm
option,
saying-
or they're just like flat out just like, come to us, you got no
I'm
other
saying-
choice?
No, I'm saying is that they're gone back to their old ways. They're not delivering anymore because all the businesses have been opened up. What's the need for delivery? They're not going to deliver anymore. They only did it because of the pandemic, because of the quarantine. That's it. Because the thing is, most comic book stores are stuck in their old ways. They're stuck in the 90s. I open up a comic book store, people will come. That's not how shit works, man. It's like, you got to make shit happen. You got to tell people, this is what's happening in the store.
The only ones that I know with that kind of mindset in the 90s was just A&M, because people really did just, you open it, they will come.
Well, A&M is like a
The
historical.
90s was just like
It's
a really
historical.
cool time for comic books.
Yeah, it's historical. It's the second oldest comic book store in the country. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to
Technically,
say is that
the owner will never try to prove it.
what I'm trying to say is that
Like they
essentially,
had, really.
if a comic book store needs to survive, you need to progress. You need to progress with time, right? You cannot just say I'm a comic book store, you come to me, right? The largest progression that a comic book store has done is basically start selling Funko Pops, but then you start
What
just
do you
selling.
mean? Midtown is now a distributor. They evolve, baby.
Yeah, see the Midtown evolved, right? You see what I'm saying? Some comic book stores are just selling video game stuff. You know, that's like they're sticking with like what they think is making money. They're calling themselves a comic book store, where clearly you're not a comic book store. You're now a card store. You're now a video game store. You're now a toy store, right? You need to progress. That's the thing. You need to think of ways not just to get people in your door, but to get people to purchase from you. Period. That's the thing, right? And by offering and jacking up the price and giving the same reason over and over, oh, we need to pay our bills, we need to do this, do that. That's not a fucking reason anymore. You know what I mean? Like people are not gonna. You can't use self pity all the time and say we need to pay our bills, we need to do this, we need to do this. That's why I'm charging you $30 for a book that I only have two left. Like that's not a reason, right? Think of other ways, man. That's the way I look at it. We had artists come by almost every month, so I mean, we thought of other ways to get people in the store. So, in my opinion, I may go halfway with you, Lewis, and say yes, there are going to be comic book stores in 2 years, but not as much as there was 6 months ago or even now.
But the problem is that the decline of numbered comic book stores in general has always been a thing and a discussed issue. And just like, let's just take Diamond Distribution, like the convention that they do. Like, retailers have come up and talked about the issues of like,
Right.
is as you see in the coming years, even before the pandemic happened,
Right.
they were seeing a real big decline of just the number of stores in a rapid pace.
Right.
And
Right.
this kind of just like solidified the nail in the coffin. And the only like responses that you would ever get from Diamond at the time, the only current distributor for
Right.
comic books, was like very sugar coating like phrases like, we are helping the comic book store community with our new ideas or new whatever.
Right.
And then after all the drama and all the media's off them, they're like, okay, business as usual. Fire all the people that we just trained a week ago so we can get new people in.
Right.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah. Another thing that's happening too as well is that more creators, writers, and artists alike, they're moving on to independent now. Self-publishing. Self-publishing independent books too as well. So they want to publish their own stuff. They want to have creative control of it, all that stuff in there, right? So creator owns, right? So if comic book stores do not realize the trend that's happening and they're not keeping up at it, they're gonna get left behind, and then they're just gonna shrug their shoulder and then, do the traditional I blame economy, I blame Diamond, I blame this, where in reality they should be blaming themselves if you're not progressing with time. That's just the way I felt with it. I'm a big advocate when it comes to blaming yourself for your own failures, kind of thing, and giving yourself the credit when credit is due. But you cannot blame a downfall of your business to other people. Other people, they have their things to do. They will do things in order to survive. You just need to adapt. That's the way I look at it. That's how I always looked at things. Let's get to some questions in here. Norland's asking, have you guys seen the heavy hitters in CGC have gotten for signature series so far? Yeah, well, because there's no conventions. I believe Alan pointed out conventions won't be starting for a while. I know I showed this for a while already.
Not until next year.
Yeah, he said it's not going to start for a while. No, because there's no conventions. They're not making any money. They need to make money somehow. So, they're asking
They're
these
already
creators.
losing money by not putting up conventions, but they'll lose so much more if they go through with their plans.
Yeah, they're asking these creators if they can stop by and do some signatures with them, and they get a cut. That's basically how it works, right? But yeah, they're bringing in a lot of heavy hitters in there because they need to make up money somehow, man. And so, um, Victor here Victor said, I still love to go to comic book stores and flip through the pages to look at the artwork and see if I'll buy it. No, I mean, like, I'm with you, Victor. I'm like, I don't think that's you're not gonna get a disagreement between with me and Lewis in here. We love doing that too as well, right? Lewis started off
Do you
doing
want to have a conversation?
like Lewis started doing that before he was working at our brick and mortar before, right?
But in an argument's sake, that doesn't necessarily mean technically sales. You could pick up 3 books and then just only take one.
Well, yeah, no, but I think what he's saying.
But like, I get the sentiment and the nuance of it, but at the same time, I have to come at this like a pessimist.
Yeah, but I think that like you are a
I'm a natural contrarian, though.
Yeah, I mean, like you are living proof of this, because before you started working at the store, you would come by and just flip through our books, and then.
But I would buy what I was flipping through.
You buy one.
Have you ever? Do you remember my original pool list?
Yeah, you had a lot, but like Matt would. Remember Matt?
Matt, okay, Matt shouldn't be talking about calling me weird. The more you talk to Matt, the more his points of view become kind of flawed.
I'll tell you guys a story though. This is a funny story. When Lewis came by.
Yeah, you told me like he trash talks me behind my back. Not man enough to tell it to my face.
He trash talk everybody who came by. So he goes like this. Okay, so he goes like this.
Yeah, but I actually told it to them.
Yeah, when Lewis stopped by, and he always stopped by and like look through some things. He has a pull list, even though his stuff isn't there. He would stop by and like look around and whatnot. And then Matt would be like, "Yo, Tim, that weird skinny little kid's here again." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, he's right there. He's like just looking through things. I think he's
so much for him. Fatty fat.
He's like, I think he's gonna like steal something or something. I'm like, leave him alone, man. He's not doing anything wrong. So that was Lewis, and then he would make fun of Kevin.
So I was weird.
Yeah, because Kevin has a condition where like he can't see too much. Like he's not blind, but he's
visual impairment.
Yeah, everything's very blurry unless it's like this close to his face. So Kevin would come and then put the comic book right in his face like this so he can see it. And then Kevin, being Kevin, he talks to himself sometimes and he goes, "Oh man, this looks so."
Hey, by the way, I would stop that right now, because if Kevin sees this, he will find Matt and beat the shit out of him. Don't say whatever like he was trash talking. Kevin will go out of his way. I will drive Kevin.
I think he knows about it, but whatever. But those are some origin stories in there. Let's see if there's some more some questions here before we go to as well. Victor's asking again. I heard a rumor internet that he's in the Jack Kirby group. He said that he heard the New Gods coming. Yeah, that's actually pretty old. New Gods have been in development for quite some time already. Tom King is actually. He ended his run for Batman early because he had to write New Gods.
So is this like a reformatting of it, or like a continuation?
No, it was an origin story. It's the one. It's based out of New Gods #1.
So they're just retelling the story.
No. Reboot as in a movie.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that one's old.
So are they going page by page, or are they gonna have their own like spin to it?
No, Tom King was hired to do the.
So it's probably gonna be his own spin on it, but it's still gonna make sense.
Well, they said it was gonna be based out of New God #1 and Forever People.
Would that even work in a sense of a movie?
I guess so. I don't know. Maybe. How the hell should I know, man? It's the production has been on hold. There's no news about it.
They couldn't find the big enough guy to play
There hasn't been any news. It's like the last news I heard about New Gods was back in last September, not this past September.
Would this be its own singled out movie, or like was a rumor to be a singled out movie or part of the Justice League?
I think it's gonna be part of like the bigger universe that they're creating.
Like I always said, they never earned it. They forced it.
But yeah, apparently, yeah, it's still in pre-production. COVID. What are you gonna do? So because of COVID, can't
stay indoors. Wear a mask if you gotta go outside. Just be considerate.
Oh yeah.
Don't spit on other people's faces.
So like,
don't be a Karen.
A Karen. So did you see like just off topic a little bit? Did you see how many cases Florida has now? 10,000 in one day? No. Collectively, 200,000.
When I said hold my beer, I was going out doing things.
It was funny though because like Dr. Fauci is like, I won't be so surprised if we are at 500,000 by the end of the summer. Florida's like.
But are you actually seeing some of the posts he's getting? Is like, I know it's a dark time, but he should try to put a positive spin on it. He's like, realists don't have a positive spin on anything.
How do you put a positive spin with that?
It's like, if people don't want to follow restrictions, like they just don't want to follow.
You can have a designer mask. That's a positive.
I'm actually very impressed that there's not like a fashion design around just having like a really nice mask and like.
Oh, actually, if you go to Aventura Mall, there is literally a store called
Masks.
Quarantine Necessities.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fancy ass store with glass and shit.
Boutique.
With, like mask and it's chic. it's quarantine chic. It's COVID.
It's panda chic.
It's COVID chic. And it's like fancy shit. Like you can buy your mask and your fancy hand sanitizer.
If you really want to spend the big bucks, they have this really fashionable hazmat suit. They have some for the summer, winter. You and autumn, we got it.
Yo, you know what's funny though? Because I was talking to Rachel about this. Because I was watching The Dark Knight the other day, and
you want to look like Tom Clancy from the first video game? We got it.
So essentially, I was like, that Dr. Fauci is like, is essentially the very definition of what Harvey Dent said. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself as a villain.
I mean, like he didn't live for very long. Then
the man is a total villain. Fauci's a total villain.
Yeah, only in the aspect of. In the argument that is he going against civil liberties, which none of these stuff is super enforced. It's just it kind of blockades you from going into certain places.
Stop making this a political thing, civil
liberties. You just did.
This is fucking science. Okay?
Science.
Okay. Science. Facts. Okay.
Science is based not really on facts, but on studies and continuous failure to successions until they actually get it right.
Anyways, well, that's it for this episode this week. As you guys can tell, I have a new background now because everything's kind of set up a little bit now too as well. It's not bad. It's not like Lewis's setup. Lewis's setup has a big screen and whatnot. It looks nicer.
Not really, but if I show the camera around, like this place is a mess.
So before we go, I just want to feature this right here. And Rico pretty much said, before I turned off the TV, it says, Tim, what's your favorite line from Captain America Winter Soldiers? Because he said before that, Tim, pause the movie. It's distracting me. I was playing Winter Soldier in the background in here.
Which, if you get doxxed for anything, or like we get a flag, that's the reason why.
We're not gonna get flag on it.
Oh yeah, 100% we are. It's Disney.
Disney can go. Oh wait.
Well, no. Keep your opinions to our
No, you
great and
can't say
beautiful
that.
overlord.
You can't say
He
that.
he did not mean it. Oh, great overlords!
I'm so sorry, Disney. I'm so sorry, Disney.
Please, that sniper shot. Just don't take
Great.
it. It's not worth it.
Oh, great, Bob Iger. I'm so sorry. All right, well, that's about it for this week. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Remember that the Walking Dead Negan #1 is still going on right now. You can pre-order that now. We are still giving away a little bit more of the Venom #25. I think it's almost gone, but get your orders in. And then next week, we are going to talk about more of the actual free comic book summer, which starts on the 15th. So, go ahead. What do you have?
Right before we go, since Diamond no longer has DC distributing, there's no
Right.
longer any telling where which DC books are coming out. So, do you know which newsletter they have to sign up
Yeah,
for?
okay, so there is. Okay, so I kid you not, that wasn't a rehearsed thing. There
This
is.
is my big brain.
That wasn't a rehearsed line there. There is a way for people to find that out. I am trying to extract that from the new distribution and see if I can take that take like a screenshot of it and then put it in. But DC Direct, they have something called DC Direct now. DC Direct came out like a couple of years ago when DC separated themselves from Previews magazine. They have their own previews now called DC Direct or DC Previews or something else. I'm trying to see if I can get a DC Direct and put it on digital and show it to you guys. But
Wouldn't it be just better if you just follow the links below towards DC Direct, so you can sign up for their newsletter on all new releases on DC Comics this week?
Actually, you could do that too as well. If you guys want to order DC Direct, I'll put it up on our website tomorrow, and you can order a DC Direct if you like. There's no problem too as well, or we'll provide it for free. We'll see what we can do. We're probably for free. No, screw it. We never.
Please go to
charge
Comic Corp promotions for all releases.
Yeah,
and sign up for our newsletters. We'll just send you all the stuff, anyways. Probably.
We'll just send it to you. Yeah, we'll just probably send it to you for free. Yeah, we'll send
or
it for free.
or might as well redirect Linky or whatever.
Because we never really
we'll do something. Let's just leave it that vague. We'll do something.
We never really charged for previous magazines, so why start now, right? So yeah, we'll do that. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. This for Spotify, for everyone listening to that listen to Spotify, this will be up on Spotify by Monday.
Sponsored not by Spotify,
which is tomorrow. So go ahead and subscribe to all that. The Instagram that we have there too as well, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify. Lewis still doesn't have social media, and he's not going to get one, so you can't really follow Lewis. So, but I'll see if we can convince him. Get one.
I don't want to be exposed to that many mean people. Do you understand that I wake up a really nihilistic point of view when I stare in the mirror every morning?
All right, well
I don't need to get that reconfirmed by Twitter.
It's like, wow, well, what's new? We'll see if we can convince Lewis there. But until then, we will see you guys next week. Next week's We Got Issues, and then we'll also see you guys next week on Weekly Wednesday. Until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out.
Is it over?